If the mind isn't right, the money doesn't matter. Welcome back to another episode of All or Nothing in Real Estate. I'm your host, Matt Smith, founder of All or Nothing in Real Estate. This podcast, this movement is a way to give back to the industry that has given so much to me and my family. This is just one of the ways that I can give back to you. Joining me today on the podcast, a very special guest. We were talking before the show. He's been an agent less than a year, and in a 75-day period recently got 11 homes under contract. And we're going to break down his story, how he's being able to do that as a new agent in a new market, not only a new market with the changes in the marketplace, but also in a completely new market for our team. And so please welcome Kent Wheelock.
Hey, thanks, Matt. I appreciate you having me today.
Yeah, man, you've earned it. You've worked your tail off, and you've accomplished a lot of things that I know we can give value to other people. I think people kind of probably get tired of hearing me talk a lot, and so I like to have guests that are actually in the trenches doing the work that they can share from their perspective. Absolutely. So, guys, in this episode, we're going to share a little bit of Kent's story, his journey of maybe even how he got into real estate, why he got into real estate, and how he became from a new agent to a top performer. We're going to talk about some obstacles as a new agent in this new market, learning a new marketplace, some things and lessons that you learned. And there's, if I'm not mistaken, there's just one thing that changed everything for you in real estate, and we're going to dive into that. Sure. So stay tuned to the end for that one. All right, so Kent, talk a little bit about you, your background, and how you got into real estate.
Sure. So Kent Wheelock, as you said, originally born and raised in Illinois, not too far from here. Right out of high school, I joined the Army. You know, I felt the need for a higher calling. I've always had a spirit of service. So I joined the Army. Just like a lot of folks, I had no intentions of staying for a long time. You know, 4 years was it. I was going to go get the experience, maybe get some college, figure out what I wanted to do with my life, and then get out.
Yeah.
Well, that turned into 22 years of an Army career. Didn't go as planned, right? Things change. Got married in the Army, had a couple kids. Retired in 2008 here at Fort Leonard Wood. We decided this is where we wanted to be. We actually met here and got married on Fort Leonard Wood.
Wow.
And decided to come back. Yeah, long time ago. So we came back. I worked for about another 13 years for the Army on post as a contractor, Department of the Army civilian. And somewhere along the line, I just stopped having fun.
Sure.
Right? I don't regret any decisions I made in the Army. The jobs I held were great. Met some great folks along the line. I'm still great friends with those folks and keep in contact with them. So it was a fantastic experience for me. But I just hit a brick wall where, my last job I had, I was no longer having fun. I'd get up in the morning and just dread the day ahead. I just absolutely dreaded it, and my bosses saw that, my peers saw that, my subordinates saw that, and that's never good when it's that evident, and it was really taking a toll on my personal life. Sure. Me personally and the relationship with my family. So I knew something had to change along the way.
Yeah.
So I had been contemplating a career change. Didn't know what it was going to be. But one day, I think Matt, I've told you before that I secretly stalked Matt Smith Real Estate Group for some time on Facebook and other social media platforms. I came across, probably through Facebook, a All or Nothing podcast, and the subject was what was the subject? The power list.
Yeah.
The power list. And that struck a nerve with me, and it came at just the right time for me because I needed something like that. So then I became a huge fan, and every Friday I looked forward to the podcast, and I was listening to it religiously. I had several friends here at Matt Smith Real Estate Group that worked here. Talked to them all. They were very happy, seemed content, loved what they did on a daily basis. So I said, you know what? This could be it for me.
Yeah. This might be the future for me.
So, I thought about it for several months, and probably the thing that put me over the top was I attended a webinar hosted by you and Lauren. It was a day in the life of a real estate agent in a luxury market at the Lake of the Ozarks. So I really had no idea what an agent did up to that point. I bought a couple homes, but didn't have a lot of experience. So I attended that, and I told myself, you know what, I can do this. So I texted Lauren right afterwards and said, Lauren, I'm on board. I think I'm the right fit for Matt Smith Real Estate Group, and Matt Smith Real Estate Group is the right fit for me. Let's do this. So I went through, I put in an application, went through several interviews, and here I am today.
Dude, I love it. I love it. That's an amazing story. I want to hit on a couple of things that you mentioned there. Is you said you kept you just weren't happy. You were kind of just going through life, going through the motions, right? Just weren't living your passion, right? Yeah. And so I think that goes back to, you mentioned the Power List episode, right? So if you guys are interested in that Power List that stuck out to Kent, go back and listen to that episode. Go find it. That you want to be a productive human being, that's your episode. Go listen to it. It will help you become more productive, even if you're not in real estate. But I also think that some of you mentioned like living life to find your passion, to be happier, right? And I think sometimes we get stuck in this work-life balance bullshit, right? People say that, well, it's just work. You just got to deal with it. You don't need to be happy at work. Just work. Just put up with it, right? Put your boots on and go to work and shut up, right? And I just don't believe in that. Don't get me wrong. You got to get your hands dirty. You got to put your work boots on. You got to get to work. But why not work doing something that motivates you, something that inspires you, something that you enjoy doing, and something you don't feel like you're hitting your head on the ceiling? I call those glass ceilings. Like, there's different versions of those, whether it's in your real estate career, we hit glass ceilings of like, oh shit, didn't see that one coming, right? Like, we have 3 mutual releases in a week, or just something crazy happens, right? Well, there's a ceiling. And so now I got to learn from it. But I also think that in life, we should be doing something that we're passionate about, something we enjoy. And something that sticks out to me in your story is that you've told me multiple times that, dude, you are busy. Like, you're putting in the work, you're grinding, but it doesn't feel like work to you.
Yeah. No, I just said that the other day in a meeting we had, that some wise person once said, if you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life. And, I truly feel like that with this. I don't even call this a job. I am passionate about it. I love helping people, so that's important to me. But I do. When I get up in the morning now, I look forward to going to work. I don't feel like I'm working. I work a lot. I put a lot of hours in. Yep. I'm a new real estate agent, so I completely understand that, particularly that first year, you just got to grind. You've got to grind and go out there and get after it, right? And things will get a little bit easier after that. Yep. But, I'm grinding every day, but it doesn't feel like it to me. So, I couldn't be happier, really.
Dude, that's awesome. I don't know if you even know this. I was doing some numbers yesterday, pulling some reports for our team, and I looked at the most conversations year to date. Guess who's top of the leaderboard?
I'd guess me.
Kent Wheelock. And so it's evident, right? And I think it's no coincidence. You're putting in the work. You were looking for something you're passionate about. You enjoy what you do. You're not afraid to put the work in. And look at the results you've had. Right? Like, so I think it works. You enjoy what you do. You put the time in. You put the work. You learn the skills. Great things happen.
Yeah.
And so I think where I'd like to go next is just a little bit, if there's a new agent listen to this, that's watching, and they're like, well, I'm a new agent too, or I'm thinking about, let's start with someone's thinking about getting real estate. What are some reasons you think that this could be a good career for someone?
So I'm kind of a people person, right? So I love to talk to people. I love to meet new people. I've already mentioned that I love to help people. I have a passion for service, right? Yep. So if that's what you're about, then this could be a career path for you.
Yeah.
Because you are, we've talked about it before. Real estate is a contact sport. You've got to be willing to go out and meet people, talk to people. Yep. So if that's your thing, this could very well be it for you.
I love that analogy of a contact sport. So imagine someone wants to play football, right? Imagine kids saying, hey, I want to play football, but I don't want to get hit.
Sure.
You can't play football, no. Right? You want to sell real estate, but you don't want to talk to people. Mm-hmm. You don't want to contact people. Yeah. You can't sell real estate, no. Right? You don't even play
Absolutely
the game.
Not. You're wasting your time.
Yeah, 100%. You have to be willing to do that. You have to be willing to learn and put in that work. So I love that. So what is a lesson that you've learned so far, Kent, that's really stood out that was like that's really helped you propel your career as you were getting going? Like, what's some of those lessons that you've learned along the way?
One, you've got to be willing to get your hands dirty, right? And just put in the elbow grease that it requires to be successful. Here at Matt Smith Real Estate Group, we're very fortunate to have the team we have. And, you and the leadership team provide to us the training and the tools necessary to be successful, right? It's up to us as individual real estate agents to go after it after that. And, apply what you learn. So initially, I'm much better at it now than I was in the beginning. I thought, I can do this. Do I really need to follow this script to a T, or whatever the case may be? I wanted to go out on my own and make it my own, and that doesn't always work. So that's one big thing that I've learned is the tools are there. Follow it, and if you follow it, you're going to be successful.
I love that. So guys, that's coming from an agent that didn't have success initially and is having massive success now. That was his breakthrough. So if you're questioning, like, why am I doing this script? I know how to do better. Maybe you do. I'll be like, honestly, Kent has the skill set. I trust him to go talk to people. He doesn't need a script. However, if you internalize that script, you understand the framework, you understand what you're supposed to say, what you're supposed to ask, and why, and then you add in those people skills, that's where the magic happens.
It's going to be huge for
But you can't do that without internalizing the script and knowing. So one of our themes right now, I talked about in our sales meeting yesterday, base your next question on their response. You want to have a good conversation with someone, you have to be able to adjust the conversation as you're going, right? Whether it's in person, whether it's on the phone, you have to base your next question on their response. So if you're too scripted, and you're reading from a piece of paper, they're going to know it. We've all talked to those salespeople. So you have to have that conversational part. But if you have that conversational part without a guide or a framework internalized, then it doesn't work either, right? So it's the combination of both. And I firmly believe step one is internalizing the script. Once you internalize the script, now you can learn nuances. You can learn different things through how to maximize the script, how to go in this conversation. Because if you get lucky and you set a couple of appointments before you have a script, you're doomed.
Yeah.
Like I see it, like it's such a double-edged sword for me, right? As a team leader, as I see new agents come in and they get a house under contract the first week like that. I'm like, yes, but damn it. Because that's going to be a hindrance in their mindset of what it takes to continue to get more and more and more. On the other hand, we have people like you that were grinding. And you and I had several conversations because I want to acknowledge the work that you were putting in. I'm like, dude, I see it. Like, let me help dive in. Let's figure out ways that we can adjust this. Let's adjust that. Hey, come to this event. Let's do these things to keep these tweaks. And what happened was, and I said this in a sales meeting, and I don't know if you caught it or not, but I said, what I love is that Kent was at the top of the leaderboard, right? He had been at the top of the leaderboard for our team, which was 9, 10 pending, something like that at one time, under contract. And he was at the top of the leaderboard. And everyone's like, oh, he came out of nowhere. I'm like, no, he didn't. Let's go back and look at the last 6 months of work.
Right.
I knew it was coming. And I said, it took a little longer than the normal 90 days. There's a couple of factors. Number one, it's a new marketplace. Number two, the changes in the marketplace. And number three, some of the skill sets that you've learned, right? But what I love about that is that I know that you are a great person, and all those people you had a conversation with, you made the human connection with.
Absolutely.
And that compound effect, that momentum that we build in this business, what I said in that sales meeting is what's cool about this is I know that Kent's not going anywhere. Meaning he's going to stay at the top of the leaderboard because of that compound effort of work you put in. Most people do it for 3 months. They start seeing the results. It took you 6. You're going to see the results for twice as long now. Right? Like, don't take that as hey, I'm going to stop doing what I need to do. But like, that's just how it works. And so like, just take that as a lesson, guys, if you're listening, is that you have to be willing to put in that work. But it's also, those scripts are important. But also, you got to be able to base your next question on that person's response. You got to be able to quick on your feet, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. So the folks that I'm so last year, right? I started May of last year, so I'm not quite at a year yet. So I sold 5 homes last year. I had more under contract, but I had several mutual releases, and obviously I've learned some very valuable lessons from those experiences. But this year, we're just finished the first quarter. I've closed on 9 homes. I've got
already this year, Q1.
I've already closed 9, and I've got 10 more pending, 11 more pending right now, actually. So again, I've learned a lot in a very short amount of time, and been able to apply that. Again, you can't let your ego get in the way, right? You think you know better, but learn from the good, the bad. Take from it and apply that. Man, you're going to succeed. You cannot not succeed.
I love it. So I'm glad you brought me back. I went on a little tangent there, but what I wanted to highlight was, if you want to be successful in this business, find a mentor. Find someone that has a proven process. and surrender to that process.
Right.
So I'll give you a real life example. I won't mention any names, but he knows who he is and won't mind me talking about it anyway. But he used to be in this organization, and he came over, successful agent, came to the team, and he first 3 months, like he'd sold, I want to say 40-ish homes last year at a different company. Came to our team, first 3 months, didn't sell none. He's like, dude, you sold me a false set of goods. What are you talking about? And so we dove in. We had that honest conversation. And what we realized was that he was trying to do it his way in our system. And his way, like, he was a great people person. He was like all of those things. But that doesn't work inside of a system. And that is not duplicatable. That is not something that you can scale. And that's not something that you can measure. Right. And so if you want a duplicatable, repeatable, scalable business, you got to track your numbers. You got to follow a process. Don't get me wrong. You need to have flexibility, right? We're real estate agents, but also we take that way too far and we work on accident, not on purpose. And so I said, dude, we're at a crossroads. He's like, I got to make money. I'm like, I do too. Like, look, you haven't made anything. Looks what I've lost money on you, right? Like we just had that honest conversation. And I'm like, so we need to make a decision. Like, I still think you're a good fit. I think we can make this work. But if you're going to stay here, you have to do it this way.
Yep.
Give me 30 days. Just trust it. 8 under contract the next 30 days, right? And took off from there. Yeah. And some of that was the compound effect of the work that he put in, but most of it was the mindset shift. Yeah. And so it reminds me of a quote that I wrote down. If the mind isn't right, the money doesn't matter. If the mind isn't right, the money doesn't matter. I said it all the time. Everything in life starts with mindset. You have to get your mindset right. If Kent wouldn't have had the mindset to keep persevering, while that 6 months, while he was kind of building this, all those mutual releases, none of the success would have happened. Yeah. Right? You've got to be able to have that mindset so that you can build the skill set, so that you can get the rewards of all the hard work.
Let me go back to mentorship there, Matt.
Yep.
So you, in that instance that you gave, you were a mentor to that person. So I cannot overstate the importance of good mentorship, right? Get somebody that is a great leader, a great mentor, and latch onto them and use them, right? I spent a lot of time in the military, so I had my fair share of mentors throughout my career. Hopefully I was a good mentor for folks. I can honestly say that without, being a new agent, without having great mentorship, great coaching, great leadership, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I just wouldn't. It wouldn't happen. I could have chose to go somewhere else. Thank God I didn't, right? Because we've got those great leaders in this organization. But, and I still lean on those folks every single day. As you mentioned, we're all new agents in this market that we're experiencing today. So you've got to stay willing to learn. Be humble.
Yes.
Take away from those folks what you can, because they're there to help you. They're your biggest coach, biggest cheerleader. They want to help you succeed and develop your goals and achieve those goals.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that. And guys, if you're watching this, you're like, I wish I had one of those. You probably already do. You just don't realize it. Number one. So look around you. Ask. A lot of people. I know a lot of great people in this industry that want to support people. But if you don't have one, guess what? You found one. That's what this podcast, what this movement is. We're here to help you. So reach out to us, be a contributor in our private group, be a part of this movement, and we will help you build your business. That's what we're doing here. So I love that. There's another quote that I want to say before I forget. I love quotes, right? Yeah. So the success that you want is in the work you are avoiding. The success that you want is in the work you are avoiding. I think a lot of people, especially in this business, are looking for that magic bullet. So looking for, hey, I just want that. What's that best lead source? The number one question I get as a coach, as a team leader, what's your best lead source? I'm like, that's the wrong question. I can't help you. If that is the best question you can ask a real estate coach, I can't help you because there is no magic pill, right? And so you have to be willing to put in the work. So that success that you're looking for, what is it that you are dreading, you are avoiding? You're like, man, I don't want to do that today. Go freaking do it, right? Like that's a key to success. All right, let's jump forward to speaking of doing stuff you don't want to do. We're going to talk about part of Kent's journey was in a 75-day period, 11 houses under contract. What was going on during those 75 days, Kent?
So we've had several folks here within the company take part in a challenge called 75 Hard. There's a great guy out there named Andrew Frisella, businessman up in St. Louis. I listen to his podcast as well.
Me too.
He came up with this program, and it's a free program. You know, he's not trying to make money off of it. He's just trying to help people. So it's a 75-day program, and it's hard. It's not easy. Therefore, the name 75 Hard. So in that 75-day period, you know, I can't scientifically prove that there was any correlation to me being on 75 Hard and the success I had in my business, but I'm pretty sure it had something to do with it, right? So 75 Hard is really, there's a physical aspect to it, but it's more about mental. It's a mental toughness development program.
Yes.
Developing determination, grit, discipline,
keeping the promises you made to yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sticking to what you say you're going to do. So, you know, I'd seen several folks here in the company do that, some multiple times. I said, you know, I want to do that. I just don't know when the right time to do it is. And I found that there is no right time. You just gotta dig in deep and do it, right?
That's like New Year's resolutions, right? Well,
Exactly.
I'll be new year, new me.
Exactly.
Fuck that. No, be a
Exactly.
new you when you want to be a new you.
Yeah, so that 75-day period where I got 11 homes under contract
Yep.
was the time that I was on 75 Hard. So I think there's a lot of correlation there, a lot of connection between that. I just acted with more intent during that time period. You know, I was calling the right folks. I was having the right conversations. I was showing the right homes. It was just all in sync. And I think it has to do with that program.
You want to change your outer world, you got to change your inner world. And I think 75 Hard, like you said, a lot of people misunderstand that program. I'm on my fourth or fifth iteration of 75 Hard right now. I'm on day 51 or 52. And I will do it every year for the rest of my life because it has been so responsible for me continuing to level up in my life. And yeah, the physical aspects are great. Like I feel healthier, I feel better. But the mental, so some people have seen, like the first time I did 75 Hard, I had a massive physical transformation. I was so out of shape, it was hard not to, right? Like I was not taking care of myself. But I told people, I said, thank you. I appreciate the compliments on the physical results. But if you could see the mental results, it's 10 times the physical. Like the mental toughness, the mental grit, the clarity that it creates is exactly what you just described. It is a mental toughness challenge. And I believe, going back to everything starts with mindset, if you can control what you do or don't do in a day, you are living life on purpose, not on accident. You're living a life by design. And you called the right people. You showed the right houses. You had the right conversations. You know why? Because your mind was right.
Absolutely. So I meant to say that before. So the mental clarity piece was huge for me. You know, before this and in my previous job, I had a lot of what I call brain fog, where you know I'm just kind of lost out there. I don't know where to go next.
Yep.
Right. Well, this program that provided that mental clarity for me, and that brain fog kind of disappeared, and I knew exactly what I had to do to get things done. So, man, I'm so thankful that I did do that. I'm like you. I want to continue in the future. I don't want to, you know, I haven't fallen off the wagon and just completely forgot everything. That I want to take great aspects of that program that I learned and take that away, such as, you know, working out every day, drinking water every day, reading every day, because I learned a lot from that. So I'm going to take a lot away from that program and implement it in my life and continue that on.
Yeah, and I think that's very admirable, right? Is that 75 Hard is not maybe for some people, but for most people, it's not a lifestyle, right? It is 75 days for a reason, sure. And it's hard for a reason. There's a whole Live Hard program. We have more information on our website. We actually did a podcast on 75 Hard. If you're interested in that, go back and listen. We hit it very in depth. We gave you resources, different things there, because it's a free program. But if you want to transform your life, you want to get back on track, you want that mental clarity that Kent was talking about, that's the program. Here's a warning. Don't try it. When you do it, you better commit. If you're thinking, oh, I don't think I can, then you can't. You have to get you have to get your mind right before you do it. And so it's what I think is really cool about the program. It is a life-changing program. I tell that to everyone that asks me about it. It is a life-changing program. only if you choose to make it a life-changing program. Right? There's some people that choose to do it and they just kind of go through the motions and they don't learn throughout it. Like, you have to be intentional. You have to be on point. And both of your workouts every day can't just be just casual strolls in the park, right? Like, you have to push yourself. You got to do hard things. You got to do it consistent. And I think what it'll teach you is that life has hard things, right? There's just hard things that happen. And it's not about those hard things that happen to us. It's how we respond to them. And the biggest lesson that I learned through 75 Hard is, I call it a production pivot, right? I got this from Andy, but it's so resonated with me, is that anytime we as humans talk ourselves out of so many things, we procrastinate out of everything. And so what it taught me is, by being forced to do the things that, like, how many times during 75 Hard did you say, I don't want to do that workout. I don't want to read today. Mm-hmm. But you have to.
You have to.
It forces accountability for yourself, right? And I think what's powerful with that is that what it taught me, and I'm not perfect, but it taught me that production pivot. And it taught me that anytime I have that thought where I try to negotiate with myself, or I need, it's okay, I can sleep in, or I'll do that later, instantly I drop what I'm doing and say, nope, I have to do that now. And when you can trick your brain. Your brain's a powerful thing. If you can control it to know, and it's a trigger every time. Literally, sometimes I will still snap. Like, that's my trigger. Like, nope, snap out of it, right? And I'll go do the thing, whatever it is. Oh, make my calls today. I don't want to make my calls. Shit, I need to go make them right now, right? Whatever that is, if you can control that aspect of your life, you are in control, and you can accomplish anything that you want.
So a couple of things I want to hit there. So I had plenty of negative self-talk during 75 Hard.
We all do.
I was trying to convince myself, you don't have to do that. Why are you doing this? This is dumb, right? Why? Who are you doing this for? Well, I'm doing this for me, right?
Yep.
Doing this for me, and those around me, close to me. So I had to get over that, and I absolutely hate failure. So that's what kept me from giving into that negative self-talk and quitting. The second thing that helped me was I had an accountability partner. I had a lifelong friend, or pretty much lifelong friend. We actually served in the Army a long, long time ago. I convinced him to do it with me, and at first he hated me for it.
Yep.
This sucks. Why did I let you talk me into this? But at the end of it, we both came out on the other end grateful, and he thanked me for that. And, we gave each other those pep talks we needed when we needed them. I will say on average, we probably talked to each other 2 times a day, once in the morning on the way to work and once in the evening, probably during a workout. But that helped me as well. So you mentioned a couple other things I want to talk about, and that was procrastination. A couple books that I read, and I don't remember the authors, forgive me for that, but one was called Stop Overthinking. I have a tendency to overthink things, and that kind of paralyzes me sometimes, rather than
I
take
may or
action.
may not have told you that a couple times in your onboarding.
Right. So rather than taking action, I want to think about it and have the perfect plan. I'm kind of a perfectionist, or I was in the past. I'm not so much anymore, but so that really helped me. And then there was another book called Do the Hard Things First, and that's about getting over that procrastination, doing those hard things that they suck. You don't want to do them, but they're going to take your business to the next level when you do them. I've been guilty in the past of knocking out, real simple, easy tasks, and I felt like I've achieved something, right? When really I didn't achieve anything, right? On paper, I got a check mark and I accomplished something, but it did nothing to carry me forward, right? So I recommend that book for folks as well.
Eat your frog first thing in the morning, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%. Get it out of the way.
Yep.
So, let me use an analogy of that, and I don't know where I learned this from, but it's real, right? And so we all have those mornings where, say, here in Missouri, it gets cold in the winter, right? And all of a sudden you wake up and it's freezing. You're like, oh, my bed is warm and cozy. My alarm clock now hit the snooze. But when you can have that production pivot and you can force yourself to get out of bed and go do the workout you didn't feel like you needed to do, how do you feel after that workout?
You're ready to kill the day.
You
ready,
feel
right?
like you are Superman or Superwoman, right? Like, because you forced yourself to do what you knew you needed to do when you didn't want to do it. you want to talk about how many people struggle with confidence in this industry? How many people struggle with, well, I don't know what to say, or I don't like it doesn't work for me. And it's a lack of confidence. And confidence is not something you're born with. It's something you earn, and you earn it by doing hard things for yourself. Keeping the promise you made to yourself is how you build confidence in yourself. And that's a secret to success in this business. I want to also hit on, you said negative self-talk. You had that through 75 Hard. Dude, I had that 3 days ago. Fuck, Matt, you've already done this 3 times. Why the hell are you going to do this again?
Right.
Your kids my kids wanted to play outside, play football or something, and I said, well, I got to go do my workout, and they were all disappointed. I'm like, you know what? Bring the football. Let's go for a walk together. And we just played while I combined the two, right? But so instead of making it like a crutch that my family has to suffer too, no, just bring them with you. Make them a part of it, right? Yeah. And what's cool is I made a post on this. I don't remember the exact thing, but as a parent, there's not much greater reward than your kids being proud of you. And I remember the second time I finished 75 Hard, she was 9 at the time. She literally sat me down and told me how proud of me she was for accomplishing it. Because she saw the hard work. She saw what I was going through. And like, so if you can see the emotions on my face, guys, like this program isn't just a program. When I say change your life, it can change your life. Not only will it change your life, but by me doing that, how many people around me have now done that and are living a better life for them? What will my daughter's life be like knowing that it's okay to do hard things and push through? And you keep your promises you made to yourself. You keep commitments. And just there's so many lessons in that. Like this program, it helped you in real estate, right? But real estate isn't life. It also helped you in life. Right. And so let's jump over to that.
Sure.
So Kent, through this journey, you started off getting into real estate because you were looking for something different. You wanted to find that happiness, find that passion again, right? You said it was kind of affecting your personal life. It was affecting a little bit of your family life. Just when we're stressed, we're overwhelmed, overworked, whatever it may be, right? Like it just happens to all of us. How does, after getting into real estate, achieving the success in real estate you've achieved and finishing 75 Hard, how's that impacted your personal life?
Oh man, I'm in a completely different space now. Mentally, physically, spiritually, just completely different. I'm much happier, much better relationship with my family. You know, I've got a couple young grandkids, and during the worst of times there just a year or so ago, I didn't even want to be with them because I knew the person that I was. I was angry. I was depressed, and that's hard, right? So completely new space, much better relationship with all those folks. I'm just happy to be alive.
Dude, I saw some pictures the other day. It was two special little boys in your life doing something they love. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, fishing. So I'm a diehard bass fisherman, right? I get on the lake as much as I can. Not as much as I'd like to, but that's changed recently, right?
Yep.
So recently, my wife and I has always been into the outdoors and camping, and we've had campers since the early 90s. And, wanted to make those good memories for the kids and take those camping. I know growing up, my parents didn't take me out on those kinds of things very often, but those are the things that I remember about childhood. So I want to make those memories for my kids, my grandkids. So I don't know. We just got a wild hare about 60 days ago. Actually, I got a wild hare. Usually that's the way it happens. And I talked to the wife about, why don't we buy just a weekend place at the Lake of the Ozarks that we can enjoy, the family can enjoy. So we went all in, and we did that. We bought a place. We closed on it in early April. So the first weekend that we were there, the grandkids came up. My daughter brought them up, and like I said, I'm fisherman. My grandkids have been on the boat, not on water, but in the garage, and we played around. But we actually got on the water. They both are 5 years old and 2 years old, and they both caught their first fish, and they are absolutely hooked now. So now every day it's like, Papa, when are we going to the lake? Papa, let's go to the lake. Sell your home and move to the lake, right? So that's huge for us.
Dude, that's awesome. It's amazing to see the hard work, the drive, the why, the good person that you are, being able to just see you accomplish those things. And what I love about it is you're able to accomplish those in service of others, right? Like that feeling that you get of your grandkids saying, hey, Papa, let's go fishing. Like there's got to be the best feeling in the world.
Absolutely.
right? I love it. So guys, whenever you're listening to this episode, like, don't think like this isn't just real estate. This is not just business. Work-life balance doesn't exist, right? 75 hard was hard for a reason, so that Kent could be the version that you see today and be able to accomplish what we've been able to accomplish so that his grandkids could go fishing, right? Like, there's a lot more to life. I love it, man. I have another note here that I wanted to talk about is you shared some thoughts and takeaways in a sales meeting recently that just really, really resonated with me, that I think will resonate with our audience too. You were talking about just after 75 hard, the momentum you had, the 11 houses under contract, and kind of just some overall arching lessons. You going to talk about that a little bit?
Man, I'm trying to think. I just
That's
drew
all
a
right.
blank, but I just drew a blank.
So we were having a sales meeting. We're talking about like, hey, it's tough in the marketplace right now. Here's the momentum. Look at Kent's. He's crushing it. And Kent, what's working for you? What's working right now? And like you just spoke from the heart. I think you were even driving. You just kind of spoke from the heart and like you really talked about coach and a mentor. That was a coach and mentor conversation to the entire team. Yeah. You remember any of that?
I think it really revolved around that, acting with intent, likely. Again, I just had clear vision of what I needed to do to be successful. So, again, making those right calls and having the right conversations. So the folks I'm working with right now, I've been working with a while, but I'm working with some newer clients, and I did tell a story, and I want to tell this one.
Yep.
I'm a pretty genuine person. What you see is what you get. I don't sugarcoat anything normally. It's just the way I am. And I think people see that and they appreciate that, right? I try to build that rapport and that relationship, that trust with clients so that we get them in the home of their dreams in the future. So I was working with an elderly couple out of Illinois around Chicago, and they want to move to Missouri. They're not quite sure where. But really everywhere other than the area that I work, right? I work St. Robert, Waynesville, Raleigh, Lebanon, the Lake area, and I'd been working we'd had several meetings. They haven't been here physically yet. We have had Zoom calls, so we've kind of met face to face. I'm providing the homes that, I'm not just sending them homes. I'm taking the time to go in and sort through those and find the homes that they're looking for. I told them one day, our last conversation, hey, I understand you're looking in these other areas. I will find you an outstanding agent in those areas and refer you to them. They said, wait, time out. Now, we're gonna think about this. Because of what you're doing for us, we're going to consider moving in your area, right? Huge.
Wow.
Huge, right? So, man, I don't know what to say about that.
That speaks for itself, my friend. Like, that's shows the caliber of person you are, that like for people to just stop and like just say, you know what? Maybe we need to move to your area so we get to work with you. Dude, that's awesome. Kudos to you, man. Thank you for sharing that. That's the good stuff, right? That's the stuff that money can't buy.
It is.
It can't buy that feeling, can't buy that happiness that you're searching for. So Kent, dude, thank you so much for sharing your story. This has been awesome. Guys, I highly recommend that you share this with a friend. Like, there's so much value that people can take away no matter where they are in their journey. Share this with a friend. Share this with people. This is a movement to give back, right? This is a way to help other people have success stories like Kent. What is your why? What do you want to accomplish through this business? Yes, we want to make money. We want to help people. But what do you really want? What is your fishing story? What is your cabin for your grandkids? What does that look like for you? And we can help you accomplish it. So stay tuned. We're going to keep giving out content. Share it with a friend. And let's continue to change lives. Thanks for listening, guys.